This is Realty Talk with Ellie and Gaelan. Welcome to episode 18 of Realty Talk with
Ellie
and Gaelan. We do this every week consistently, and for some reason I always forget the intro. I've never had the intro written down. I just kind of do it off of what sounds correct in my head, and we just go with it. But that's the first thing that I had. So, welcome, Ellie.
Thank you.
It is a beautiful day out today. The first day I haven't really worn a jacket.
It's humid.
Yeah,
it's really sticky.
It was 77, and I hate humidity. Do you like humidity?
No, I like heat. I don't like humidity.
Florida, right about now, would kill me, but I think I could do like Southern California. I've been out a couple times around this time. It is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Again, no humidity. So give me San Diego over Miami any day. Okay, so we had a couple topics we wanted to talk about this week. To kind of give everybody past week at a glance how the market's been doing. We've everything's kind of been the same. My monthly updates that I do, I kind of go over the numbers and stuff so you guys can see how, when we say it's a seller's market, it's one thing to say it's a seller's market, but it's another thing to actually show it with facts and data. So I like to do that in order to give people an accurate picture of what things are actually, how the home prices and how much homes are selling and what they're selling for, and the trends that we're seeing from, a year ago. I might even try to do one. I haven't done one, but maybe I'll try to do like a midsummer one where maybe we can compare the last 5, 6, 7 years and kind of do a chart and see how it's progressed up. I have to get my statistical knowledge back out from high school, but we'll see if that comes back. Other than that, the market's picking up a little bit in the sense of, we're seeing more listings come on. I still think and I haven't ran the numbers out in the last few weeks, but I still think we're at a very low amount of inventory. But as naturally when the nicer weather comes out, so do more homes. So that will be my topic in a little bit. I will go over a couple things for sellers, things to kind of think about and do prior to listing. And Ellie topic, which I think will be great today, is Ellie is almost 5. Well, you're 5. This is your 5th month.
Yes, I'm a little over 5 months now.
Okay.
Because I think it was like January 13th or something like that when
We'll be about 5 months.
Yeah.
January. So Ellie's now, so we'll round it off, 5 months into being a realtor. And so what I wanted Ellie to do today as a topic is talk about how her expectations from, say, 5 months prior to becoming a realtor, which was pretty much when you first started kind of shadowing me.
Yep. Roughly,
to 5 months now post getting your license. So kind of give us the I guess your expectations pre-licensing, and then give us the 5 month mark of what you've experienced so far post-licensing, the good, the bad, anything in between.
So looking back on it, the way it is should be exactly how I expected, but it's not. Because obviously, you have different expectations based on TV or even Instagram. If you follow different realtors on Instagram, things look very different than they are. Also considering a lot of the realtors I follow are in California, and obviously that's a different world. But so I expected it to be similar to how it is as far as what I do day to day, making calls, cold calling people and whatnot. I expected myself to be a little busier though. I just kind of thought, well, I'll just, I'll call people and I'll get leads and I'll go forward from there. If I'm calling 20 people a week, I've got to be showing a lot of homes and selling a lot, right? No. So haven't been that busy at all. I mean, I'm busy making calls every night. I probably spend about 20 or 30 hours a week doing real estate related stuff, but so far it's really just investing in people and investing in myself, and not so much out showing homes and doing closings and making contracts and all the stuff that I thought I was going to be doing, 5 months in. But I mean, it's good. It's not I was a little intimidated at first. I thought it was going to be harder than it is as far as, I guess the complications. I thought it was going to be more complicated than it is. And so far it's not too bad, but I also have, you to help me out whenever I have any questions and whatnot. It'd be a little scarier if I was alone.
Well, so a couple of things I want to ask you. So you kind of hit the nail on the head. It is, real estate's very easy to get your license. There's not like you don't have to go to college. To be honest, the test is easy. The hardest part is just sitting down for the course, which is 75 hours. But overall, it's a very easy barrier of entry to get in as a realtor. And real estate itself is not complicated, meaning start to finish is not complicated. X and O's, 8-step A, B, C, D. Obviously, there's a lot of nuances and things you have to understand within the business. But at the end of the day, contracts and laws and how that all works out is pretty black and white. The hard part, as with anything, and especially in real estate, is you're dealing with people. So I think that in order to really be a great realtor, you have to understand people. You have to understand human psychology. I find that my levels of relationships to people, meaning I'm really adaptable when it comes to the person, meaning I can have a conversation with, person A, person B, and person C, and they are 3 different personality types. They are 3 different, some I got to use a little bit more, care and caution with. Some would just want it straight. Some are long-winded. Some are very quick and to the point. And you adapt to all these things. And what I am able to find is that by understanding people, by building relationships, by, I guess, promoting myself and my successes and my involvement within the real estate field and also within the local business scene, I'm able to, build up, basically people that want to work with me because they see the value in what I can bring. But as I was telling you from the start, this is my 9th year, and my beginnings were much like yourself, meaning I would contact 1 or 2 people a day, and I just kind of sat there and was like, okay, well, when are the offers going to come? When do people want to look at homes? When is someone going to call me to list the property? And, I think I try, and I'm sure you can vouch for this, and anybody that's coming on the team, is that I'm extremely realistic when I'm talking with people where, like you said, you had this kind of this world that you were going to jump into, and we were HGTVing it and $1 million listings and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, people got to realize real estate's tough to break into. Yeah. And even those people you see on the TV shows, they're not brand new agents. They've been doing it for a while. And I find that I'm just now to the point where I really have a good handle, I believe, on real estate. And that's, 9 years in. And I think hopefully with me allowing you not to have as much screw-ups as me and the learning curve that you can maybe do what I'm doing in half the time, which would be phenomenal. But it's still, as I tell everybody that's coming on, you have to commit for 3 years, meaning like 5 months in, it's not, hey, I'm like, nope, you're right where you should be at 5 months in. And I think at this point in time, you are just establishing yourself as an agent. You're getting your name out there. You're meeting people. You're establishing relationships. I'm very big on every person I talk to, to me is a future client. Yeah. Every person I talk to, meaning it could be somebody. This has happened before, and I kind of love it because I use it as kind of like a mini goal or like a mini project that I want to take on, is the sense that I might meet somebody that I know is totally going to use another realtor, and then over time, that wall slowly breaks down, and then they start leaning more towards me. Yeah. And I've done that plenty of times, and not to the point where I'm like, I want to take someone's client, because they're not anybody's client at that point. But at the end of the day, it's like it's another, like, to me, it's a validation that my follow-up is phenomenal. Meaning, it's like you're working with an agent or an agent might have sent stuff to you in the past. Well, are you in contact with them regularly? Well, no, I mean, here and there, but they haven't heard from them in months. Okay, well, why don't I send you some stuff and I will be in contact. Is that still going? Nope, it just stopped. Maybe we'll have Jordy merge it. We had a technical difficulty on the on the taping. Okay, that should be good. Okay, I think it's starting again. So to me, those are some of the times where I just, because of follow-up, I can get back in the game and eventually, get that client. Or I've had clients too that use different agents because it's their friends or whatever the case is, but they really like how I act and I carry myself and conduct business, and they say, hey, if there's anything I can do to help you out, let me know. And maybe they didn't buy a home through me. Maybe this was a few years prior. Maybe they have no intention of ever building, or they want to build, or they have no intention of selling. I've had some of those too, which is cool because at that point, basically they're endorsing you without, they're endorsing you at that point, which is pretty cool. And I think for you, you're really starting the beginnings of that, meaning you're, no offense, nobody's endorsing Ellie Gent Realtor yet because you haven't done anything, and you
except
haven't,
me, Brittany.
and your friends and family and stuff, but it's different too. You don't live around here, or I say live around here, you do, but
I didn't grow up around here.
Yeah, your family doesn't, and I think over time you will get your name out there, and we've talked about this before. You try to have good relationships with other realtors because majority of the realtors I've dealt with more than once, and I will continue, especially the ones that are super active. I will be doing multiple times a year, and I want to have a good relationship with them also, and I try very hard to keep those relationships as solid as I would with my clients. And I think that's the thing for you is, right now you're laying the groundwork, and I think one of the it's a quote over on my desk. I forgot the exact thing, but basically it's kind of like a Rome wasn't built in a day type thing, but it's something about building. I think it was something like building whatever, starts with one brick at a time, and you got to just keep laying the bricks. And I'm really big on that, is that every text, every social media post, every podcast, every networking event, these are all opportunities to make a connection. And, it might not be the first time. It might be me talking to somebody the third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, seventh time, 2 years down the road, where they finally say, hey, actually, my mom's looking to buy a home, or hey, my brother's looking to buy, or I think we're looking to sell. Like, that's the good stuff. Those are the ones that you want, and ultimately you're working towards. Now, for you, you've talked about obviously doing some work, but like, what have you done, and do you think in regards to getting new business or laying those bricks? I talk about kind of what I've done in regards to networking, social media, just meeting people out and about. And I mean, to me too, like I had a closing this morning, or not, actually 2 hours ago. And I'm going to get a picture with my clients with a sold sign that I now can leverage for future. So I'm always looking for opportunities to leverage situations. Kind of when we were at the chamber event the other day, and we got a picture with a big group of people. I'm always looking for how can we get pieces of content that we can put out, and we're always looking for ways to promote, and not just myself, but promote other local businesses. I'm very big on what I call leveraging. Cross-promoting, meaning promote you, tag our mutual friends that we have within the young business professional space that we try to promote also for their businesses. So what have you done that you think has been so far the biggest growth in your business? I know it's very early, but what can you think that you've attributed so far as your best, I guess, what have you best done in the last 5 months?
I'm definitely going to all the networking events, including 80KYP and Gaelan's dying. 80KYP chamber events. I actually have a client that I'm working with who I met through 80KYP. Before I was even a realtor, just kind of became friends. And I think that meeting people in person, obviously cold calling is important. I get a lot of leads because your dad sends me Tammy's leads too, because she asked him to, and you send me a lot of leads. So I'm calling probably about 6 people a night, just cold calling for the most part, because usually they don't answer the phone. But in person, meeting people in person, I think has been the most important thing, because now I see people and they're like, oh yeah, like I remember you, and that's the first step.
Yeah,
being remembered.
That and like I said, you're active on social media, which is good. I mean, the same thing when you talk about calling people, like, I've gotten to the point now in 9 years, it's tough for me to call people because I have enough people that I'm dealing with now, which is good because that's what I ultimately want, because I want you to now get that overflow of business because that's going to help you grow. But 8-9 years ago, I mean, I still to this day call people. I was calling people this morning, and those are people that have reached out or, asked for information on a home or and sometimes you call them and they just say, hey, not interested, and that's fine. And
Yeah.
I know it's a numbers game, and that majority of those people that I'm going to call are going to be no good. But I mean, I built my business on that, when I started. And to be honest, I have a lot of clients that I've started out that way and are still good clients, or have referred me to people, or and I'm always going to do that, because I think that still a portion of the business should come from that. I'm just trying to get more towards the referral side, which takes time to build and takes time to get trust and get to the listing side. And I don't know if I'll do it this year, but every year I'm getting closer. And I think this year I might be 40% listings, 60% buyers, which, I mean, I'll take that. As a 29-year-old, most people that list a lot of homes aren't older, are older.
Yeah.
So the fact that I'm almost 50-50 in my career with selling and buying before I'm 30 will be, to me, a huge milestone, because very rarely, because most of my peers don't have homes to sell yet. They're buying their first home, I'm hoping that, between 35 and 40, that number's 70-30, 80-30 of listings. But that, again, takes time. And it's kind of cool when you're starting to see all these little efforts snowball effect I talk about, is that we're I'm getting to the point now where I can see it. You know what I mean? I can see what I've been able to build over the last almost or close to a decade. And for you, it's fun, because right now it's kind of like, shoot, like it's tough. And I've talked to other agents that are newer, and everybody has the same down. They get negative, or they have negative thoughts about, I'm not good at this, and it's like, you know what, you are
just starting out.
Yeah, you're the same as everybody else. Like, don't expect too much. Be realistic with yourself, but just keep grinding. And it is a phenomenal industry, and you can have a lot of fun and meet a lot of cool people. But you just got to stay the course and really work at it. So that is, I'm having a hard. I went into a house the other day. I think it had some mold in it. And I think I'm really struggling with this mold. I find that maybe I'm just like miniature kind of sick too with the change in weather, but I'm having a hard time breathing. But it's okay.
Oh,
like not a bad thing.
You
just
don't
like
need to breathe.
I feel like I feel like I'm like wheezing, or like having a deep.
Do you have asthma?
I have bad allergies. I might need it, actually, but I've never actually taken an inhaler in my life. I've always had bad allergies. I might, but we'll see. I'll probably power through it. Part of me, I just think I got a cough, but. It will come out. So sorry, folks, if you hear me sounding like a winded person going up the stairs, but that's what I feel like. So that's good. Do you have any expectations going through the end of the year?
I think it's going to get easier and easier. I've definitely noticed I tend to second guess myself a lot. I constantly have the imposter syndrome, and I have with every job I've ever had. And I realized the other day, and I say it all the time to John. He says, "No, you can tell that you know what you're talking about." It's like, well, you just think that because you don't know anything about real estate, so it sounds like I do. But now I'll have people ask me questions, and instead of my mind going blank with panic of, I don't know, I'll like just rattle off an answer and be like, oh, I did know that. And just kind of, it's nice realizing that I know more than I think I know, and I'm sure that's just going to continue to get easier too. Yeah,
every day, like, again, to put in perspective, when I first started, I think my default answer was, I don't know, let me check and I'll get back to you. And I was always a big proponent of don't say something unless you knew it to be fact. And I still do that today.
Absolutely.
I'll be like, actually, I'll give you two examples. This just within the last 4 days, so since Friday. First one was asking about a variance for property. Doesn't happen very often. And actually, I'll give you three that have happened in the last 2 months. One, an offer came in. It had to deal with a trust, meaning money was coming from a bank, and they had this trust fund. Money was coming out of the trust. You need to have bank or court approval. I've never done this in 8 years. So I asked the agent. I said, I don't think the agent, has been in as long as I have. But same thing. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, hopefully you know, or if not, just, I might ask you a lot of questions on this because I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I know obviously how to close it, but there's certain factors of the deal I didn't know. So it's like, instead of me rattling off stuff and bullshitting my way through a deal, which is I'm never going to do, it's like, hey, I don't know it. I don't have a big ego. I have a very little ego. So to me, it's like, I don't know. Let me look it up. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I had one the other day about a variance. They asked about a variance. I very rarely need to get a variance. I know what a variance is, but
Yeah.
I contacted the town where the house is located and asked them some questions that I didn't know. And then I had one today talking about exemptions. There's tax exemptions with veterans and senior star. And he said, what will the taxes change to? You know, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to, I think it would be this roughly, but I'm going to check because I don't want to give you false information. Then you're going off you're planning on payments and you go either make an offer or don't make an offer based off of what I say that's not fact checked yet. So, you know, there's 3 things in the last 2 months. Either I didn't know or I had to say, hey, I don't know. Let me look up some answers for you. So always, you know, and I had this problem a year or 2 ago with a newer agent, and they screwed up in my eyes on the deal. And part of it was because I don't think we're asking the correct questions, and they were saying yes to everything, and you know, that deal just ended up being a bad deal. It closed, but it was not a comfortable deal for my seller. But at the end of the day, like I said, I think it came from a new agent not willing to either tell the client that they're wrong, or if they don't know, to talk to their broker. Yeah. So I mean, stuff like that happens, unfortunately. But you gotta. My biggest thing is in real estate, you know. I don't care if I have an agent that's working with me. If you don't know something, tell me you don't know something, because I'll help you out. Same thing. If I don't know something, I lean on agents all the time on stuff. If I don't know it, and I think they do. I mean, Tammy, before she worked here, I called her on everything that had to do with foreclosures. I had no clue how to do them. I still kind of don't know how to do them. I mean, I know probably 80%, but when it gets to all the fine details, I don't know that last 20%. So I'll call her up. Now it's easy because she works here, but before even when she wasn't working here, I'd just call her up on deals and say, hey, how does this work? And she was more than helpful on that. So most agents are willing to help people out. Yeah. It's a very weird industry because a lot of us work at different companies, but at the end of the day, we're all coworkers, because you have to work with each other in order to get deals done.
Absolutely.
Again, we talked about earlier in the show, you know, I have a lot of agents that I'm you know, I wouldn't say friends in the sense that we hang out on the weekends, but friends in the sense that if I see them out, we're hanging out, or, you know, I can go to an event and sit down and chit chat and have a beer with them, and you know, or go to like a networking event and talk to them. And I like that aspect. Even a couple agents texting me today about Gina, like, you know, and that's kind of cool. You know, and that, you know, a lot of us know what each other's families are doing and stuff. So I think it's just kind of a fun industry in that regard.
Speaking of which, by next Realty Talking, we'll probably have a second child.
If I don't have a second child, I may not be here because Gina would kill me. So she's ready to go. So our next child, baby number 2, is due anytime. I have a feeling it's today. The due date was yesterday, so we'll see. So next one we will have. That's why we're getting this in a little earlier in the week than we normally do, so we could get it in this week. But we will have another little baby T running around, which will be fun. So I can't wait. But I think I'm going to save my next topic for next week, because we just went quite a bit. Actually, we built off of the first part pretty well.
We did.
So that was good. Yeah. We went from I don't even have a paper out. This was totally
unscripted. I mean, it's always unscripted, but the topics were not written down.
And I knew what number the episode was, which never happens. I always looked it up. 18.
Yep. Okay.
It is?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. We had to fact check that. No, so that's good. Let me see any updates in the Kavanaugh Realty world. We were going to be at the Business Expo on June 6th. We might do that next week, maybe kind of promote that a little bit more. Yeah. June 6th at the Field House in Plattsburgh. There is going to be a lot of different businesses there from all types of industries.
It's going to be lit.
Yeah, it's going to be lit. Make sure you come in and check us out. We will be at booth number 78. Don't ask me where that is. I kind of know, but you'll see us.
Green.
All green. That's it. So make sure if you are going to that, stop by and say hi. And Courtney just passed all her testing, and she's waiting to hear back. Well, I mean, she heard back, but she's waiting to get officially
just the licensing.
I think the actual licensing, but I don't know how that works. Like if she can show homes. I mean, she passed everything. I don't know.
I think you have to pay the fee before you can do anything like that, because money.
Yeah, we're gonna hold off. I don't want to be written up at the board office, because we got a lot of fact check agents around that will do that. So so we'll hold off on that. But Courtney is licensed now. She passed everything, so that should be starting off soon, which is good. Hannah just finished the semester along with Jordy. I think they're waiting to get their results back. So Hannah, I think, is going to officially finish her course and hopefully start getting into the biz a little bit. Jordy is doing her thing. Nicole is now on full-time, basically, since Deb retired, which is great. And not official, but semi-official / super excited is if anybody's ever been to my office, this will be my office for about another week and a half. And then we are moving locations, which we will verify for everybody probably in 1 to 2 Realty talks. So stay tuned for that. But we are growing, which is great, which involves needing more space. So that is a huge, long time coming. So I'm super pumped. That's been probably 4 years in the making. So it's
here.
Yeah, it's cool. So that's all good stuff. So anything else? That's kind of the rundown of all good real estate stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay. So we will end there. We will see you guys all next week for episode 19, but this has been episode 18 of Realty Talk with
Ellie
and Gaelan. We'll see you next week.